In the world of professional wrestling, the word legend is thrown around far too liberally. But in the case of Paul the Pope Pacowski, we won't make that mistake. The man that would become the Pope was born Paul Pacowskiewicz in 1922 in the ghettos of Warsaw, Indiana. Some would say he was destined to become the professional wrestler known as the Pope, because his mother was the groundbreaking wrestler known as the Lazy Mexican Girl, Priscilla Paco, and his father was Pope Benedict XV. Paul began his in-ring career in 1937, at the tender age of 16. That first match would be the beginning of a professional wrestling legacy that would span 8 decades. Throughout his storied career, Paul Pacowski has been known by many names. Here's a rarely seen promo from 1957, when he was known as the Vatican Bulldog.
You know what, Dewey Spitz? Let me tell you a little something, brother. When you cross the Vatican Bulldog, it ain't like crossing the street. When you cross the street, there's a lady there named Margaret. She's going to help you cross. But when you cross me, the lady that's named Margaret is actually made out of knives, and they've got blood on them, and you don't know until 5 minutes later that the blood is yours, and your children have all gone deaf. Because when the Vatican Bulldog makes an enemy, he doesn't just make an enemy. He makes a pie, he makes a cake, and he makes a big mistake, which is to look in the face of God and say, brother, I know you said don't do these things in the good book made out of the leather skin and the thing and the paper. But there's a man out there named Dewey Spitz, brother. And that there man has done crossed me, and I'm going to cross him. I'm going to be so mad, brother, I'm going to grab 2 children out of the audience. I'm going to take them home with me, and I'm going to teach them about geography, baby. And you can take it from me, the Vatican Bulldog. Don't use condoms.
Through the years, the Pope has also been known as the Polish Crusader, the Papal Giant, P.P. Whitesmoke, Mr. Papacy, the Roman Catheter, God's Astronaut, Paulie Pontiff, Father Last Rites, Donnie Plunkett, the Dangerous Electrician, and many more. The Pope suffered countless injuries in the ring, including breaking his neck and spine 8 times, losing his left eye, multiple stabbings, developing an irrational hatred of cameras, kidney failure, and diabetes. Despite Paul Pacowski's extensive injuries, by sticking to an intensive training regimen, he was able to remain active in the ring well into his 60s. That was until 1990, when the 68-year-old took on an 18-year-old up-and-comer whose dangerous, unsanctioned, and immoral finishing move ended the Pope's wrestling career and almost ended his life. The finishing move was the Platinum Plunge. The young wrestler was one Stephen Platinum. Just when it looked like the Pope would be taken from the wrestling community forever, he made a miraculous recovery. Though he knew he could never compete in the ring again, Paul Pacowski had wrestling in his blood. So when his best friend, Cowboy Ross Gordon, called him about a job opening as co-host and color commentator for BRAWL, the Pope jumped at the opportunity. As much as a crippled old man is capable of jumping, which isn't much, but he still got the job anyway. The Pope adapted well to his role as commentator, but as they say, you can take a wrestler out of the squared circle, but you can't circle wrestle while taking out a square. So it was in 2005 when a righteous Pope challenged the vicious wrestler then known as Asp No. 3 to a match. The brutal bout would leave the 83-year-old with 18 broken bones, 2 pierced lungs, and dead. Three weeks later, a plume of white smoke was visible over the Dad's Garage Sportatorium. After the garbage fire was extinguished, it was also noticed that the Pope had been resurrected. He returned to BRAWL like an avenging angel, cleaning house, defeating his old nemesis Stephen Platinum, and reassuming his post as co-host. In 2006, the Pope made the mistake of returning to action, this time against Stephen Platinum's flunky, the Fake Chef. The imposter killed the Pope a second time with his finishing move, the almond pancake, smashing the octogenarian's skull so hard, his brain came out his butt. His essence growing weaker, the Pope's second resurrection produced only a zombie. But a zombie Paul Pacowski is better than a non-zombie anyone else, and he was welcomed back to BRAWL with open arms. For the premiere episode of BRAWL's 2007 season, the Pope was nowhere to be found. The wrestling world was stunned to learn that he was moments away from his third and final death. The Pope finally moved beyond the veil on Friday, May 18th, 2007, at the age of 85. After his previous two violent deaths in the ring, perhaps it is a blessing that his ultimate death came of natural causes. He was mauled by a bear.
Take